here. And then I will turn on those suckers. And there.
Welcome to another episode of Drunken Confessions, a show for the bold and the brave, the drunk in the season, where you tell stories your best friends already know, you may not want your family to ever hear, but always makes for a great conversation. Raise the glass or more, we don't judge, every week for Drunken Confessions.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Drunken Confessions, episode 48. Yay! And for those of you,
Hooray!
For those of you who have first time listening in, I am your spiritual guide, Cass.
We're not sure where that spirit is going, but I'm your host, Amy.
I'm your head engineer, Stephanie, who doesn't actually have to do any engineering duties during quarantine.
So you tell us the head today?
I was like, yeah, so you're just in charge of head? That's what that... and I believe we decided last week that I was just going to be the enabler, Dave. That's, yeah.
There we go.
Very fitting. And we have...
I'm Jeremy. I'm Amy's husband.
The husband.
The husband, yeah.
Just like to hang out.
And we have a special guest tonight.
We do.
From
Hawaii. I wish.
From Hawaii, yes.
Hawaii.
Taking a break from his own podcast called
Tales from the Bar Side.
Is Remy. Hello, Remy.
Hey,
Welcome,
ladies.
Remy.
Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me on. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yes, we appreciate it. So cheers. Happy Podcast Wednesday. Drunken Confession.
Clink.
All right.
Ooh.
Ooh.
All right.
That
So
was
we
tasty.
have decided to start off tonight with an icebreaker. I was gonna say an ice warmer.
A nice warmer.
I've already had a couple beers. Anyway, we're starting.
Stickers are giant ships.
So we have an icebreaker question.
Thank you, Amy, for helping me out there.
You're
All right,
welcome.
This is our icebreaker, and all right. So from here on out, your vagina or penis is named after the last TV show or movie you watched. What is its name? And we'll go with Remy first, since he's our guest.
I'm so old school. Like, I wait for everything to be out for 20 years before I finally watch it. But so I guess my Johnson's called Breaking Bad.
Okay. Oh.
Fitting.
Steph.
Oh, can I get a do-over on this one, please?
No, you gotta
No,
be.
what'd you
I
watch?
was like, she watches a lot of scary movies with horrible
We want to
titles.
know the name of your vagina.
I was watching the final season of The Leftovers.
Oh, nice.
Really good show. Not a good name for my junk.
No.
Who doesn't love leftovers?
Oh my gosh.
I love
Dave?
leftovers.
Laughably, because I just took the time to finally go back and watch the bonus episode they released. It would be Tiger King.
I could see you actually naming that in real life. But all right, Amy.
Mine is because I've been on this crazy binge. The Sopranos.
Oh, it's a weird name.
It's going to sing to you.
But,
You never know how it's gonna turn out, I guess.
right.
Or who's going to get whacked, which is, you know.
True. That's true.
Lord.
All right. Mm.
Jerry,
Right,
what's yours?
I was listening to Slow Soprano.
Yeah, actually, he watched
Was
The
it Sopranos?
Sopranos
Okay.
last night. Yeah.
Oh, yes, it'd be
Alright,
Long Dong Soprano.
No. And mine would be Supernatural.
Woo!
So actually, that I kind of like that.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. So I'm perfectly fine with that. So on that note, yay, everybody, we're gonna roll right into our first drunken confession, right?
Yep. First drunken confession.
Is that what we're doing, or are you gonna talk?
No, drunken confession. Cass
I
is reading
beg.
all of them.
So I had to make up my own because Amy
Speaking
and
of
I
Breaking
are
Bad.
separate. So I had to make up some of my own, and I actually found in an old notebook when we first started this some drunken confessions that we never put to print. So I have them here.
That looked like a little baggie that you'd put like cocaine or.
That's why I said, speaking of Breaking Bad, yeah, I thought it was like a
I
little
thought
bag
it
of
was
meth,
baggy
a
for some
little.
meth.
My dime bag.
My first
Dime
drunk
bag of
confession
toilet
is,
paper.
It's
Yeah,
it's her little drunk bag.
yeah, my first drunk confession is I'm now dealing meth. That's apparently that's.
Right.
Speaking of Breaking Bad.
I'll take that pile of money.
Right here, guys, right here.
Oh Lord.
All right. Our first drunken confession of the night is: are you a dom or a sub?
Oh damn.
So,
Dom.
Amy, since you're so vocal, Amy, why don't you go ahead and go first?
Jeremy full on just said dumb. He
So
was,
doesn't that answer for me?
Not necessarily. You can be both. You can be one. You can be the other. You can be one in the
There's
bedroom.
a lot of arguments in bed.
It could be a switch, yeah.
I'm on top. No, goddammit, I'm on top this time.
I'm pretty sure it switches back and forth between the both of us.
See?
Sometimes they go off the bed during that.
Yeah, sometimes
confusion.
All right. So when you fill
Who's
out the
the
pet, is it when which one of you is the dom?
him.
Oh, Jeremy, get your shit together, okay? You know what I mean?
I'm alpha dog with my pets.
All right, Remy.
Yeah, I'm a switch hitter. I can bat from both sides of the plate when it comes
Good to
to
know.
dom or sub. Yeah, I don't mind being tied up. I don't mind being having my nipples pinched a little bit. You know, get some nipple clamps going. It's that works for sure. But I definitely like to give somebody a spanking and tie them up too. So that's about as far as I've gotten into that whole world. You know, I'm very very scratched the surface.
Nice.
Good to know. Steph?
Oh, I'm definitely more submissive depending on the person I'm with. But like sometimes I get
A
really,
little aggressive?
yeah. And
Yeah, I feel like it's a hard question to answer because it all depends on the situation.
And well, like I think I'm 90% submissive. Like
Okay.
90%. So like full on, like normally that's like but like that 10%, you know.
We don't know what's going to happen. Dave, what's your answer?
Definitely dom. And remember, the existence of meatball subs implies the existence of meatball doms.
God.
All right. For me, I am definite sub. So I found out the hard way that I was a dominant outside the bedroom, sub inside the bedroom. So I had a hard time with some relationships because of that. So, but I have found that I am definitely a sub. Even when I try to be dominant, I kind of feel like an idiot. It's like I feel like a fake, you know. If I'm in the bedroom and I'm trying to be like aggressive, I'm like, wow, you know. I just feel like stupid. So I don't even try anymore. I'm just sub. It is.
Wasn't that what most executives go for, is to be the sub?
Well,
And
they
you
say
get
people
beaten
who are
down
really,
and whooped and chained.
people who are really dominant in their life have a tendency to be more submissive in the bedroom, which is 100% true. And for me, because I'm very dominant outside the bedroom, but it's not always that way. Some people, I've noticed, some people are like dom all the time. That's how one guy I dated was. He was dom 24/7, which is why we broke up, because I wasn't a sub 24/7.
Makes
So,
sense.
it happens. Yeah, it does. All right, so Amy, we're going to turn this over to you.
Yeah, so again, I want to welcome Remy and
Hi,
thank you
thanks.
again for joining the podcast tonight.
My pleasure.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, so we know that you have your own podcast,
I do.
Tales of the Bar Side.
Tales from the Bar Side, all about what it's like to be in the service industry, what it's like to be a career bartender, all the crazy, fun, drunken, ridiculous stories that bartenders have. So, yeah, it's lots of good stuff on it.
You have people that are on that podcast with you, right?
I do.
Can we give them shout outs real quick?
We should definitely give a shout out to Lauren Walker, my co-host. She's such
Hey,
a babe.
Lauren.
Like when we met, it was instant karma. It was like, oh yeah, we definitely have to. Cause she'd been wanting to do a podcast for a while, and I needed a good co-host. And Dave was like, I got the perfect person for you. And sure enough, he was right. He was spot on with that. So yeah, we're about 23 episodes in, and we're having a great time with it. We're like feeling our groove and having fun, telling some stories. So yeah, everybody should definitely check out Tales from the Bar Side. If you're listening to Drunken Confessions, you'll definitely like Tales from the Bar
Yes.
Sure.
I feel like it's a good combo, and I hope that we can do more podcasts together because we get the drunken confession
Right.
side, and then
That's
we
right.
get your side of being behind the bar.
Well,
We're all about it, you know. It's like we tell our listeners all the time, hey, just because you don't work in a bar doesn't mean you don't have great stories from a bar. You've been to a bar, right? Come on, tell your stories. So.
Exactly.
Lauren messaged, she said she's a sub for life. So I was wanting to have her on, definitely. So I don't know if she can come on now.
She's
or
a
if you
self-described
wanna-
little rope bunny, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
she's
really
definitely-
hoping when we get back into the studio and we don't have to do the Zoom, we
Yeah.
can do. I would love to do a live broadcast.
Oh, or even a crossover, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
Absolutely.
Yeah, that would be so much fun. But I really have another question for Remy. Is what made you guys even come up with the idea of having the podcast of Tales of the Bar Side?
So I started it about 2.5 years ago. I had the idea of a podcast. I'm like, I produce podcasts. I do podcasts all day long, and I'm also a bartender. Why not combine the two? What would be a good name for it? Tales from the Bar Side popped into my head, and
I love
I was
that.
off and
Great
running.
name.
But yeah, I was on a different network for a while with a friend of mine and another bartender, and we did it for a good long while, and it kind of, you know, it ran its course, sort of thing. Did it for a little over a year, had some fun with it, and then just kind of shut it down for a while. But when I met back up with Dave after not seeing him for 1.5 years, he was like, "Man, I always love that idea. I always love that name. I would love for you to bring it back up on Podcast Detroit." And the rest, as they say, is history.
Well, and Lauren, I mean, that goes back to, so Lauren wanted to do something, and she and her friend had been in the studio with Ming when they were in town
Yep.
a couple years ago. And like her friend just would not get off the stick and get things running. And Lauren was messaging me like probably at least once a month. Hey, I really want to do this. Hey, I really want to do this. Hey, I really want to do this. And so I was like, okay, you two kids get together. And I think this is going to work, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. It turned out to be a match made in heaven. It's so much fun. Like, I absolutely adore her.
Like matchmaker.
Yeah, podcast matchmaking for sure. It's great. I equate it to like when I've had female roommates in the past where it's strictly platonic. You know, it's the same kind of thing. It's just like, oh my God, we're such good friends and we both get the industry. And yeah, when you take out the sexual element in a male-female relationship, it makes it so much easier. And like I've
never done that.
I've had great relationships with roommates like that, and I've had, you know, I've got all kinds of girl friends that it's like, no, they're like your sister, they're like your friend. You don't think of them in a sexual way. And it's about the guy taking the sexuality out of it, because most guys are like, I want to fuck everything that moves. Doesn't matter if you're my friend or not, you know. If you learn how to take that out of your life and just kind of eliminate it, it makes for some really great
You're
friendships.
one of the few diamond in the roughs that can you know,
I'm a mature guy, I guess, is the way I look at it. It's like, yes, I can have female friends.
Bullshit on that. Just throwing that out there right now.
I'm serious.
Shenanigans.
Maybe it's years of being in serious relationships too, where it was like, I'm still going to have friends, but it has to be platonic because I'm with somebody. I'm not going to cheat on them. It's, you know, it's kind of easy to do if you think about it in terms like that.
I love that. Well, before we move on to tonight's main topic, which I'm so excited that Remy's here for this.
Yeah.
Let's do another drunken confession, Cash. You got
dime bag.
Yep, you got your dime bag. You got your
dime
drunk
bag
bag.
out.
And this question is, how can you tell if your girl is a sub? I don't know. Does she smell like Italian dressing?
Oh my God.
Sorry.
Wah, wah, wah.
Wah, wah.
Ask her what her safe word is. If she's got
Yeah.
one, then she's pretty good chance she's a
Right.
sub.
My
Oh, that
safe
was
word is
another episode. We already
Oh,
what a safe word.
If she
was.
asks you what a safe word is, then she's probably not a
She's
sub.
or at least has,
Yeah, we already had one that we talked about our safe words.
Yeah, we didn't do an episode of safe words. I believe it was entitled "Educating Amy on Why
Yeah,
You Need
you
a
didn't
Safe
have one,
Word."
did you? You didn't have any safe word, did you, Amy? I think Amy was like,
Mine was ouch.
He
And
was
no.
like, oh, no, don't you put that there.
That's actually not really a good safe word.
It's actually, the safe word is your, but you don't know if it's got an apostrophe or not. So sorry, wrong one.
All right, so Cass, what's our next drunken confession?
Oh, since you're so excited, Amy, you can answer it first.
Okay.
What is your secret talent in bed?
Well, the fuck if I know? Ask him.
Secret talent in bed.
I'm not answering that.
Oh my God, Amy. Really? Is Jeremy going to answer it?
Probably not. If he wants me to do the secret talent in bed, he's not.
Uh-oh.
See, that's
Sounds
the
like
problem with
blackmail.
having like.
One would hope it's not a secret
Yes.
from him.
All right, Amy, what's Jeremy's secret talent? Does he have one?
He does have a really good one, but I feel like I shouldn't answer it because.
Oh my God, you can just say oral. Or doggy, or
Nope.
choke, or pull, or yank.
Moving on. When we start, Vanilla Amy is calling it. We're not answering that question.
Stephanie.
On the advice of counsel.
Stephanie, you want to enlighten us on what your secret talent in bed is?
I don't have just one. So
Oh, smart.
Oh, look at you. So just come up with just one of them.
but see, then now I want to come up with my best one. I don't know. Like, okay, so I don't know if this counts. We're just gonna go with this. The fact that I'm into girls too, like, definitely works in my favor in a lot of aspects in the bedroom with men and or women. So
Yeah, most guys kind of like that. Oh no, please don't bring another girl.
disgusting.
Shocker. Dave?
What were you thinking?
I don't know, the fact that I subscribe to the Sam Kinison school of thought, which is make her come twice before she's even sure you have a dick.
Abby, what is yours?
Great fucking
Well
talent.
I don't know. Mine's no secret. The secret's out. What's your best move? Being precise with the rhythm. You gotta have some rhythm in the bedroom, and I'm pretty precise. Let's just say precise is a good word for it.
There we go.
So if you're hooking up with Remy and you happen to hear a metronome, now you know what.
More like a funky bass line going in the background.
So, Cass, what's yours?
I can see that on his dresser. Sorry. I've been told that I'm very good with my mouth.
But you keep
All
thinking
right.
about how small
At
your
least
mouth
it's
is.
how I got a husband 2.0 or 1.7.
Well, because we already, like Dave said, because we know how small your mouth is from the hot dog challenge.
Yes.
That's not a big surprise to any of us.
Anyway, trying to follow your thoughts.
Just saying. I love you, but just saying.
It's okay.
Moving on now.
All right, so you
so-
lost me on that because I'm still trying to figure. I'm just trying to catch up. On that note, Amy, what are we talking about tonight?
We are actually going to go over the top 5 alcohol beverages in the state of Michigan.
All right.
And Corona's number 1 with everything right now. Sorry.
Oh, everybody loves a Corona.
So what's kind of fucked up is that we actually Googled this. Me, Dave, and Stephanie, or me, Dave, and Cass did this the other night, and none of us agreed with what good old Google said.
I declared, well, no, your Google results and my Google results were different for whatever reason. And it might have just been
So
the
obviously
terms
bullshit.
going in.
So whose Google was the best Google?
Well, my Google results, Dave, I don't know if you still have yours listed, but my Google results were number 1 was beer.
I agree with that.
Number 2 is wine.
I agree with that.
Number 3 was tied between bourbon and scotch.
I don't agree with that. I don't like scotch.
Number 4 is just classified as hard liquor. And number 5 is classified as cocktails.
That's a weird kind of.
Yeah, that's like a whole Venn diagram.
You can't go.
All right, cocktails
You
are
can't say one
mixed drinks. They have your
Categories. How
own-
do you put the categories in the right order?
One is
Like you
vodka.
have your white girl wasted drinks, right? Yeah. Your frou-frou umbrella.
I love my mudslide.
Right.
Listen, as a
Which is your-
bartender in Michigan, vodka is the absolute number 1 drink of choice,
Okay.
hands down. More people order vodka than anything else.
Well, so
Vodka,
and that's why I
vodka,
like
vodka.
The top,
Yeah, really.
the top drink that showed up when I was searching was a mule.
Yeah.
Mules,
Really?
vodka sodas.
I've never even
I
had
think
a
beer
mule.
is the number one, especially in Michigan with all our microbrews and everything else. When I was a bar manager, we sold more beer than anything.
I'm telling you, the last year and a half, 2 years,
course,
everybody
this
and their
is
brother is drinking vodka drinks.
When
vodka,
I did
vodka,
this,
vodka.
going back 11, 12 years, maybe longer.
Well, and the problem is, I think, like, depending on what bar you go to, like, they only have, like, gross-ass domestic, like, Budweiser and Miller. So people don't want that. They're like, I'll take a vodka soda, or I'll take, like a tequila sunrise, or, like, something that is familiar instead of, like, a Miller Lite.
Plus, you got to figure, I was a bar manager downriver. We are a blue collar area. I think that has something to do with it too, because I think
Shot in a beer kind of bar, definitely.
exactly.
Yeah.
People drink their beers. They want their damn Bud and Bud Light and Miller Light. All that.
Well, but by the
We
same
want our
token,
champagne beers.
you're not walking into Whiskey in the Jar or Temple Bar and asking for a mojito.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna next time just to mess
I
with
mean, you
Augie.
can just to see the look that Augie gives you will be.
They'll be flipping through the Rolodex.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Augie will
what
just
did I
stand
say?
there and look at you until you pick something else. Like that's just how that works.
So Remy, as a bartender, you serve more vodka than anything else.
Oh yeah, most
And
definitely.
then vodka as in mixed drink, shots, or a combination of both.
So vodka Red Bull, vodka cranberry, vodka soda. Those are the three most popular, and mules, and Moscow mules.
What's a mule?
Definitely like the four most popular drinks in all the bars I've worked in the last 5 years. Sure. And everybody's still going to order other things. I'm just saying, like, if you're talking about how many did I make this, how many did I make of that, more vodka drinks than anything.
All right. So
Everybody
in my
loves vodka.
opinion,
I hate it. I can't stand vodka.
For when we go to when I go to the bars, I feel like beer is probably like the number one choice.
Again, we're downriver though.
Right. You drink beer though. Like you're
but not true at say Bellicoso.
Right.
That is very true. I couldn't get any freaking beers that I wanted because I'm also a beer snob. So I go to certain bars that are like martini bars and whiskey bars, and I'm like, oh, can I get this kind of beer? And they're like, no, we have Bud Light. And I'm like, no.
They look down on you. They're like, you're drinking a beer.
Okay, so I'm raising my hand in support of Bellicosos. They actually have some decent craft beer, but they don't have a lot of it, and they don't have the ones you like.
Oh, no, the only thing, I can get Labatt Light from Bellicosos.
I'm sorry, you cannot call yourself a beer snob and then say you're looking for a Labatt Light. That's
No,
That's a staple beer, man.
that's
You can say
my
you're
go-to
settling.
beer. That's my go-to beer.
It's
gotcha.
like a little Caesar's beer.
However, like right now, I'm currently drinking Dirty Blonde.
Vanilla Java Porter.
Well, there you go.
I mean, we got married at a
Elijah
brewery.
Craig.
How many times do we have to talk about it?
Like, are we just all announcing the things we're drinking?
Well,
Apparently, I
actually,
thought that was
we're
the
going to
thing.
move on and talk about that right now. So let's talk about what our three top drinks are. Because that'll just kind of sum everything up personally. Not what you think everybody else drinks or anything else. Tell me what your top three drinks are. Because mine are beer is my number one.
What
Wine
kind of beer?
number
What kind of beer though?
You should, specify.
Corona.
Number one. Wine, Pinot Noir. 2. 3. Oh, I almost dropped it. Jack Daniel's Fire.
Jack
All right.
Fire.
So, Dave, go ahead. What are your 3?
I think everybody knows Tito's and sugar-free Red Bull, or Tito's and club soda with a sugar-free Red Bull is my kind of go-to because that way I can kind of space things out. And then Scotch. Brand depends on where I'm at and what I'm doing. And then, after that, I've been playing a lot with
anything else.
Yeah, there really is. Yeah, no. Usually after that, it's like a Coke. No. Like I've actually
Wait, a soft drink?
Yes, not Coke, a Coke.
Just wanted to clarify that
but
for
no.
our listeners.
Actually, one of the things I've been doing a lot of since obviously, I'm doing this and all of the broadcasts from here in my basement bar, I've actually been playing a lot with martinis lately and just like, different flavors and different profiles and all that kind of stuff. And I've been having a lot of fun with that. So I might get back into a martini kick as this, wraps up, but we'll see.
Okay, fair enough.
Remy.
Right, Steph?
No, it's Remy's turn.
Remy, go ahead. Remy, what are your top 3?
All right, so with top 3 with me, we can talk top 3 to make, top 3 to drink, or
Drink.
top 3 if money wasn't an object.
Money, not an object.
Top 3 to drink if money wasn't an object.
Yeah.
Yeah,
top
your
3 to
favorite. Your
drink
top
if
3
money was.
faves.
I tell you what,
Give me your favorite.
I absolutely love like really good expensive wine, red wine, big, juicy. Like I love good wine, so I would go crazy on wine. That'd probably be number 1.
Try your
but that's not what I drink all the time. Like everyday
would you say
drinking,
what-
I'm like an IPA and a whiskey guy, and just a regular, like I got Labatt Blue tonight. I'll have a bunch of Labatt Blues. That's totally fine. But no, like if I had all the money in the world and it was no big deal, I would have a whole bunch of high-end wine, a whole bunch of high-end scotch, and probably just to get weird every once in a while, some absinthe, like True Blue, expensive
nice.
absinthe. Yeah, like that stuff's amazing. And
Right. So wine, like, real quick, wine. What kind?
I love Cabernets. I love Pinot Noirs. I love.
You said red.
I love Italian, like
Yeah, but there's so many reds.
Montepulcianos and Amarone.
You know, like me, I'm a middle of the road Pinot Noir kind of person.
I know
I
absolutely
forgot.
nothing
Honorable
about
mention
wine.
goes
Yeah,
to
she-
that.
No.
Yeah, you definitely.
No.
I mean, it goes without saying that you're gonna have a bottle of Yeji hanging around, and every once in
Oh
a while
God,
get
no,
into that sort of stuff.
no.
I love it. but-
Only if I'm using it to start a bonfire or something.
Oh, it's like Robitussin.
Isn't that what made me black out on my birthday?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, it was.
That is why I don't remember my birthday, because Dave bought me multiple shots of that.
Yes. So that was the night that Mickey poured
Sorry, not sorry.
tiny drop in a cup for me, and I just got it on my tongue, and I was like, "Oh my God!" And you guys did how many shots of those?
I don't know. After the first one, I don't remember anything else
It was
after
like
that.
4-ish, I think.
The answer is too many.
3 or 4
Yeah.
shots of Yeji and a night of drinking beer. That sounds like a good time to me. I can get down with it.
All right, so my answer for my top 3 is like craft beer. Then I'll say Labatt, because that's not a craft beer.
It is beer, and beer.
No, mine's beer, and then it's a tie between Jack or Jaeger.
Jaeger. Mm-hmm. I know you.
So, Amy, I mean, craft beer is kind of a broad spectrum. Like, can you narrow it down a little bit for us? Give us,
She is drinking
like,
drink.
what's your favorite craft beer?
Well, it's hard to
All-time
say. Like,
favorite
I love Atwater Dirty Blonde. However, I am in love with Strawberry Blonde from Arbor Brewery, because that was my wedding beer. That's where we got married, and that was my bride's signature beer. And then other than that, it's like Shock Top and Oberon, Blue Moon.
Like barely like anything with flavor.
I don't like the thanks, Steph. I don't like the dark beer. Jeremy loves the dark beer, but the dark beer that's too much for me.
All right, so you're a summertime craft brew drinker for sure.
Yes.
That's what I'm.
Yeah.
Gotcha. That's good stuff. I just
Yeah,
wanted to
like
narrow it down.
basically
'Cause
your
you said craft
background,
beer.
your
Craft beer
background
encompasses
sums
just
up my
a
beer
ton of
taste.
stuff.
Yeah, your background is the background for every commercial for every beer she likes to drink. That's that.
All right, Jeremy, what do you like to drink?
I like to drink my Labatt's Blue after work. And it's something you could take to the beach and just drink it all day. It's fine.
Okay.
I'll have my vanilla Java Porter from Atwater for dinner.
Nice.
Sure.
Yeah.
And a hot summer day, I like Arbor Brewery's. It's the Buzzsaw. It's almost like a
Buzzsaw is a really good
type
one.
beer.
Buzzsaw IPA.
Yeah.
And that was the
Love that
groom
one.
beer at our wedding.
I had the sour beer. I love sour beers.
Ugh, no.
Yes. Love
Yeah,
it.
you did it. You drank all the sour beer at my wedding.
Sours. Oh, I love the sours. Steph, last but not least, take us home, honey.
Well, I'm ending with the best list of all time. So, number one is going to be a really smoky Scotch, like Lagavulin, Lafrague, something like that. Like I need a lot of smoke. That's where my heart is. Number two is going to be a really good dirty martini with not a shitty vodka and blue cheese stuffed olives.
And blue cheese stuffed olives.
Yeah,
Extra. I love my martinis have to be extra dirty.
delicious. And then third is going to be Anniversary Ale by Shorts before they fucked it up.
You ruined it, you bastards.
Way to call them out.
Well, yeah, I mean, they did, so it's no longer my problem. But it was a blood orange wheat wine. So really high alcohol percentage, very delicious taste. One of those beers, almost like the Soft Parade, that's so good. Like you're just drinking it and you don't realize how much alcohol you're drinking, and all of a sudden you're drunk, but you don't give a fuck. So there we go.
And on that note, let's do one more drunken confession, Cass.
All right. I keep sealing the bag up after each one. I don't know why, because then I have to try to open it.
It's easier if you put it in your box.
That's what he said.
That'd make it more difficult, I would think. Just saying. All right.
All right, moving on.
He knows what he's doing.
Now, last question for tonight, right? This is our last question?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Our last question for tonight is, have you ever had sex at work, and what was the scenario? All right, Steph, that face just told me everything. You go first, girl.
Oh my God. Okay. So when I was like 19.
Okay, this one time at band camp.
Yeah. So I was like 19 and I was working at GameStop, and there was another store manager that was like super into me, and we had sex in the cage.
So you were super into him too.
Did you like
Kind
walk
of
on the PS3 or
happened.
something?
So, like, despite all your rage, you had sex in a GameStop cage. That's where that's going.
Well, I want to know, were you like doing it on the Wii, or were you banging on the PS4? What were you doing?
There was no fluids on top of any game systems. That's
Yeah,
appropriate.
Cartridges?
No.
Oh, okay. Just asking.
No.
Curious minds want to know.
Oh, so
Were the
Steph-
customers still there?
No. Oh, no.
After hours.
Yeah.
So, Cass, what about you?
Yes. Back when I sold real estate, we had I had a couple of models, that were
So you're like straight out of a porn.
Hey, no. Well, kind of, yes, because he was my superintendent. He was the guy who built the houses, and I was the one that sold them. And the funny thing was, he was like 9 years younger than me too. He was rather spry. It was good. So anyway,
Spry? What are you, 90?
I was rather spry.
He was a young chicken. Spry.
Good one.
I'll call you.
I'm so much younger, I didn't even know what that meant.
young boy.
I hate you all. I hate all you. I thought that would be a fun word, but I guess not. So anyway, no, he was a lot younger than me, but we had a lot of fun. We just messed around in one of our buildings. So we just broke it in before the homeowners could.
Good.
Okay, moving on. Dave?
Okay, so first I'm gonna let's see. I have now switched to Screwball whiskey and chocolate Baileys, which makes a hell of a Reese's peanut butter cup. In case anybody's watching at home.
Well, cheers to your screw.
That sounds awesome.
And I will go. So the first time I would have been about.
Oh, so it's multiple yeses that he has had sex in the workplace.
Wow.
I'm sorry, we've met, right? Like we've had conversations before about the weirdness of my life. Yeah. So I was
Actually, we've seen videos of your studio, but it wasn't you.
Yeah. So let's see, I was probably 23 and I was living in DC, working for an accounting firm, and it was like this huge big crunch project, and a lot of us were there like just 18, 19, 20 hours a day.
Why is the longest story I've
All they
heard?
had back.
Well, no, I'm going to keep it short.
They had abacus back then, so
Okay.
he. Never mind. Go on. Sorry.
Yeah, which is why I'm so good with my fingers. That's the other talent. Anyway, so a couple of us hopped across the street, went to the little bar, and then this one girl that I worked with was like, "Hey, my car is back at the garage. You want to come with me?" And then I did that, and she was like, "Oh my God, I left my stuff upstairs. Can you come up with me?" And I was like, "All right, cool." And then so we go upstairs, and she basically just bent over the desk and said, "Hey, see anything you like?" And I was like, "Why, yes. As a matter of fact, I do."
China? I'm in.
It's my favorite. How
Hey,
do you know?
there's nothing like a surprise vagina to
Like,
make you eat.
I didn't get you anything. Oh wait, yes, I did. Oh, wait.
Yes,
All right, 40 Shades of Red happening right now. Or 50
And
Shades of Red.
I
I mean,
I
you
should
said it
add for
wrong.
the record,
You cut yourself off, Ted?
almost got busted by a security guard making the rounds of the floor. So
How is it that we've been friends this long and you can still turn me this red with your fucking fucked up stories?
Oh, but he said that was the first time.
I know, and it's scary to think what the second and third and fourth and fifth time is. So we're moving on.
I've led an interesting life. I gotta say.
Remy, what is your answer to that question?
Remy's just
I
gonna go, no, I've
definitely
never
have
had
a
sex
good,
at work. Bye.
porno style. I have. I definitely have a good porno.
You're a bartender,
style
right? So it's probably
sex at
happened.
work. Not even bartending.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I have had sex in the bar industry, but the best one ever was I was working for a moving company. I was a mover, and we show up at this young lady's house, and she's breaking up with her boyfriend and moving into her own place.
Oh shit.
And she was gorgeous.
Right?
She was tall and red hair, and that's like my kryptonite. And so
Remy was
I got a little
packing.
flirty with her. I was getting flirty with her during the move. Like we're getting all of her stuff and packing it into the truck, and then taking her over to the new apartment. And so we set everything up, and we get done with the stuff, and I've got to have her fill out the paperwork and pay. And the other guys are out in the truck, and I'm like, "Oh, I forgot to set up your bed. I should probably do that for you. It's just like one of those things that we like to do. Should probably set up your bed."
Again, it's another scenario out of
So
a
it's
freaking
smooth.
porn.
And she's like, "Oh
Sorry,
my God,
that
yeah, that
is
would be so
kind of lame.
sweet."
It really is.
Hey,
I was like,
ma'am,
well-
there appears to be an extra screw. Where would you like me to put
Yeah.
it?
So I'm like, come help me put it together. It'll be easier if there's two of us,
Right.
So we start putting the bed together. I'm like, so hold on a second. Let me go talk to my guys. I'm like, fellas, go take the truck and go to lunch. Like, I'm going to be here for a little while. And I came back in and basically like, it was that awkward kind of thing where it's a customer and a service, individual. And you're like, is this really going to happen? Should I go for it? And so I just went for it, and she was totally down.
And is she paying by the hour for the moving service? I think
No.
No, she had already paid at that point.
I was
She was
gonna say,
already off
had
the
she
clock.
paid you first or after?
Wait. Did she tip?
No, he did.
Oh,
just the
she
tip.
definitely-
No!
It was a great tip. It was amazing. And I don't remember her name. I never talked to her again, never saw her again. It was just like, yeah, we should do this.
Wow.
All right, who's next?
Amy.
And I'm Vanilla Amy. My answer is no. That's never happened to me.
Never had sex at work.
No.
All right.
I've been with him for.
So there I was molding teeth.
Yeah, like that's not
Dear
sexy. Like
Penthouse
I've
Forum.
been.
I never
been
thought it
with
would
him
happen
for,
to
like,
me.
18 years, and no, I've been with him since my whole like career. So no.
Forever.
I mean, well, he could have stopped by one day. We
All
were
right,
making
so we
assumptions.
understand that, but Jeremy, have you ever had sex at work?
He's
No, I
he's
haven't.
older than me, so it might have
No.
happened.
I wish I'd had it a couple of times, but it didn't.
Well, and he mostly works with dudes, so
Well, now, without college.
Judgment-free zone.
Yeah, not that there's anything wrong with that.
no, there's nothing wrong with that.
He is a heavy equipment mechanic, so if he says he has sex with at work, then I think I have a little bit more things to worry about than just cheating. Just saying.
I'll drink to that. I'll definitely
You might be
drink to that.
making some interesting videos too, so just saying. You never know.
All right. Did we all answer? Cass, did you
I
answer?
think we all did.
Yeah, Cass is the house, yeah.
All right.
So I think that's bringing us to the end of this episode.
It's been
Again,
great.
thank you for everyone who tuned in. Thank you again, Remy, for joining us. We really enjoyed it, and I really hope to have Lauren, right?
Yes.
Absolutely.
You and Lauren again. I would like to include her on the next time you guys join us.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So
We're hoping the next time we'll be actually in a real studio because
or an actual live event. I think
That would
would
be
be
oh yeah, we
so
wanted
much fun.
we had plans. We had bars lined up that we're gonna do all these live events at, and then this happened. It's just like okay.
Put it on hold.
Yeah, so
Those virtual
anybody
hugs
who's
until I get to see you
interested
give you real
in
hugs.
anybody who's interested in joining on and being a guest while we're stuck at home and we have to do it virtual, hit us up at mydrunkenconfessions@gmail.com.
For sure. And then I think Remy actually has our cheers for tonight.
Yes.
Oh my God, we've got to do
Lift
do
your drinks.
cheers.
Oh, he's not ready.
You told me
He's not
about
ready.
this
I
and I
knew I
totally
should have
forgot.
had one backed up.
You've had 2 fucking days notice, Remy.
I honestly like
Seriously? Are
everybody
you
always
fucking
says like
huge?
the best toasts and the best cheers, and they've got like these fun little quips, and I'm like, my favorite is just like, here's mud in your eye, you know, and
So that's what you're gonna give us?
Here's
Okay.
I
mud
don't have
in your eye.
the cheers.
Here's mud in
Never
your
been
eye?
one for that.
I guess our closing
Yeah,
cheers
here's mud in your eye.
is cheers. That's our closing cheers. That's yeah.
Exactly.
Cheers, guys.
Come
Thank
on.
you. And we
All right.
Clink.
Here's to my friends who are close and far away.
Yes.
I miss you guys so fucking much. It's unfucking believable, and I can't wait until we can all hang out at my house and I can throw a dope ass fucking party again.
Big
Hooray.
puzzles. Cheers.
Hell yeah.
beer
Amy.
pong. Beer pong.
All right, cheers. Thanks again for everybody who tuned into Drunken Confessions. And Cass and I actually have more
what?
planned for next week. So
Oh,
me too.
actually, we've already got the next 2 weeks planned out.
Congratulations.
I know.
That's all right. Let me tell you something. That's a fucking achievement for us.
No, I know that. That's
It
why.
really is.
Congratulations.
Because actually, Amy didn't do it on her own. I actually put my I actually helped. I really did.
I know it actually took place during a Zoom chat the other night. I'm well aware you were involved.
She finally helped. It's fried chicken. It's shake and bake, and she helped.
And I helped.
Hey, fuck you. I'm essential.
All right, I
That
love
was
you,
definitely
bitches.
inappropriate.
Love you guys.
Thanks for tuning in.
Yes.
Until next time.
Hey, everybody.
Yeah.
Thanks again for listening to our show tonight. If you want more information, you can find it at facebook.com/mydrunkenconfessions.
All right,
Oh
so
my God, I
I'm
want to smoke